What up, Rap Leaders? Welcome back to my channel. We're back on Mandela Avenue, back road, taking a look at these buildings because the bank is now officially opened, and I thought by now that this building, this is the other building about 25 meters away from the bank, and we assumed that this is another bank, but it still hasn't materialized. There's no signage, there's no labels on the building, so it's impossible to tell. It's impossible to tell, except for the colors, what this building is. But I assume it's probably a commercial building, and we're still waiting for it to be completed and opened. However, what I want to show you today is that this bank has been officially opened this week. Today is Friday the 6th of September, and this bank was opened earlier this week, first week of September. So I just wanted to show you again what the completed structure looks like now that it's open. We've known all along that it's Citizens Bank. Now, some people said that the same owners of Citizens Bank own this building. I kind of don't see it, although the fence actually is the same. Well, similar, it's not exactly the same. Still waiting to see, of course, what it will turn out to be. But this is Citizens Bank, and I want to use this opportunity to talk about money, the exchange rate, and the economy in Guyana. Now, Citizens Bank has now opened. This is its second branch in Georgetown. The main branch, the main office of Citizens Bank has always been at the corner of Crowell Street, the South Road, and Camp Street. And now that they've opened this one, this branch, it seems as if it's in the same design. It's the same design as the branch on Camp Street, right? The same unique design. And I assume that they're literally offering the same services. What have they done since the last time we were here? It seems as if they started planting landscaped grass. So they're putting in a lawn in front here, although I don't see it yet. Nobody makes turf the way they sell turf grass in the US. So you won't find turf grass here. This is their attempt at creating a lawn. We'll see how it turns out. But yes, this is Citizens Bank. They've recently opened this building, this branch here in South Ramvelt Gardens. Where is it located? It's located at what used to be called the Junction. This used to be called the Junction. That is the entrance to South Ramvelt Garden. This road is continuous with David Rose Street. Right, that's David Rose Street heading south into Houston. But this is Citizens Bank. This is the new location. They're officially open. It's now about 6:30 in the morning, so it's not yet open. That is the operation. It's not yet operating. They have a drive-through banking window. This is the side here. There's a window on the side. Might be an ATM. So they have a drive-through ATM, and that's new. In fact, I think the branch in the city also has that drive-through section. But what I want to talk about is what is happening with the currency, the Guyana dollar. Now, I made a video several years ago predicting that the value of the Guyana dollar will rise. And since then, for the past 7 years or so, we have been looking at the value of the currency, the value of the Guyana dollar. It turns out that it has not risen significantly. The exchange rate now is 212. This is my bank, which is Demerara Bank, is exchanging US dollars at a rate of 212 Guyana dollars to one US dollar. It used to be 214.5 a few months ago, like 6 months ago. It was 214.5 and now it's 212. So the value of the Guyana dollar has not risen. I predicted that it should rise significantly. That means to around 2 to 1 or 1 to 1 with the US over time. And the reason why is because of the volume of US dollars that is being generated by the oil and gas industry. The problem is that the government does not have a strong dollar policy. Right, just look at the south side of this building, the south side of Citizens Bank. The Guyana government does not have a strong dollar policy, and therefore they have done nothing to defend the Guyana dollar, even as the country has, the economy, the GDP has grown. What that means is that anybody, any company, a foreign company like a Trinidad company, Massey for example, that does huge amount of trading, that means buying and selling, they can come to Guyana, use their Trinidad dollars to exchange Trinidad dollars directly for US dollars, and then use those US dollars to buy stocks to stock their stores, or simply transfer those US dollars back to Trinidad. And that is what's been happening with a lot of the Trinidad companies, not just Massey, but a number of other Trinidad companies. And what that means is that Guyanese, you go to the bank in Guyana and you can't get US dollars. It's just very difficult to obtain US dollars. When you go to the bank, you have to put your name down and request a call back so that they can tell you when the money is available. And this should not be in a country that's now generating on the order of 3 billion US dollars at the rate of production. Now we're actually getting 3 billion US dollars from oil and gas into our sovereign wealth fund. So the problem is the government of Guyana has not defended the Guyana dollar. And what does that mean? It means that instead of allowing any country, any other foreign company to come to Guyana and bring their currency and exchange it for US dollars, they should first have to come to Guyana and exchange their currency for Guyana dollars, then exchange Guyana dollars for US dollars. What that does is it puts the Guyana dollar in demand. It creates a demand for Guyana dollars, and that is what causes the value of the Guyana dollar to rise when people want to use the currency. And so foreign companies like G-Boat, like Massey and all these other Trinidad companies and US companies should first convert their Guyana dollars to their foreign currency, their Trinidad dollars, their whatever dollars, to Guyana dollars, and then be allowed to transfer those Guyana dollars to US dollars, so convert them to US dollars. What that would mean is that you're defending the Guyana dollar instead of bypassing it. As we look at the Citizens Bank, now if you go to any one of these banks in Guyana and you try to get just a small amount of US dollars, they will tell you that they don't have any available, or that you have to literally line up and wait for a call back. Join a line, a virtual line, and wait for a call back. That shouldn't be, right? If you're defending the dollar, then the value of the dollar will increase and the availability of US dollars will be greater, because some people who just want to use the system to transfer US dollars back to their country will realize that it's too expensive to do so. If you go to the Canadian banks, and I'm telling you that this is not unusual. If you go to the Canadian bank in Guyana, you go to Scotiabank and you try to get Canadian dollars, guess what? You'll find that the Canadian dollars, they're exchanging Canadian dollars at a much, much higher rate than the market rate, right? So in Guyana, Canadian dollars go for about 150 Guyana dollars to 1 Canadian dollar. But if you go to the Canadian bank, such as Scotiabank, and you try to buy Canadian dollars, they will try to get you to pay 180 for one, right? That is how they're defending the Canadian dollar. And that is what has to happen. There has to be a strong dollar policy for the government, for the Guyana dollar to rise as it should, when the economy is now literally doubling every couple of years, right? There's a 50% growth rate. Citizens Bank is not the culprit in this. It is the policy of the government's dollar policy. They don't have a strong dollar policy. For those of you who've been looking at that video and wondering when the Guyana dollar will rise, it turns out that the Guyana dollar will rise when the government of Ghana sets a strong dollar policy. And that is my opinion of the situation with the dollar in Guyana. Now, this intersection is also, this is an entrance to South Rumvelt Gardens. There's also this new building that's being constructed here. I still don't know what it is. I'm assuming that eventually we will know, because usually before the building opens, they would tell you what it is. But this one is now open. Citizens Bank is now open. And the one behind